Tara, thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let me pass out the agenda for today's meeting. If you would take one, pass it around, please.
Sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So thanks you guys for coming to today's meeting. We're going to discuss next year's summer trip. I'm going to ask you all to do me a couple of favors. Tara, would you mind keeping track of the time for me?
Absolutely.
We're going to try to keep this around maybe 10, 15 minutes or so. Tashilia, if you wouldn't mind taking notes, I see you got your pencil already ready. Cecil, you look there and be pretty. Great. Okay, so we're all set? Okay.
I don't know how to work it.
Okay, so we'll just put, let's put a minute up and start, and it'll count down, and just, you know, just kind of go from there.
Perfect, thank you, okay.
All right. So actually, let's go back. Let's do this. Let's put 15 minutes up, and we'll go from there, and just kind of count our way down.
Absolutely.
So you on the agenda, you see I've got the welcome for about 2 minutes. Let's start and let's recap last year's trip. So we went to Virginia Beach. We spent 4 days there. What were your initial thoughts? Your just general thoughts on the trip?
I think we need to definitely make the trip longer. I think we need to stick with our original plan that we have. We shortened it this year because of logistic issues, but we definitely need to make sure we stick with the recipe that's worked in the past.
Okay, so we did, what was it, 4 days, 3 nights this time?
Correct.
So we want to go back to a 5-day, 4-night situation. Okay, what about the activities? Did we get enough? I know we went to the beach.
I think we should add some activities besides the beach. I thought they were a little low this year, so I'd like to see more activities.
Okay, so more activities. Let's keep track of that. Tashilia, how about you?
I think that it was overall, I think it was a great time. I think the weather played in our hand perfectly.
Yeah,
And
80-degree weather on the beach, you
liked
can't beat.
I think they really liked the beach time and having free time. So that's what they really like to do. They felt like the free time, having their own thing to do was great. So
Okay, so how about the hotel? What did we think about the hotel?
great.
I love the
Location.
I love the
location.
Yeah, the location was great.
That-
Right on the
Location,
beach.
that was good.
Yeah,
That was
That was a fantastic
It was a time saver.
Such a
Yes.
time
I
saver.
mean,
Woo.
you know,
Yeah.
less hardship on the chaperones because you
Yep.
have to go and to stay or whatever. So
Okay.
Very much.
that was
Yeah,
good.
it was good.
Location is very important.
So in my opinion, I don't know if we'll be able to get that price again on the beach, but if we're able to do Virginia Beach in the future and have that price point there, I mean, I would just vote for it. Even though it wasn't like the best accommodations,
Right.
and they're already planning on doing renovations, which means price will probably go up.
Ah.
But I would say that yeah, that location was just
Location.
I will say the air conditioning in my room was great because I
Oh,
got
the
it down to about
AC.
65, and it was freezing every time we got back on the beach. So
I
that
was
was
cold.
fantastic for
AC
me.
was really
It was working.
It was working.
Yes, it was definitely on point. So how about the price? We spent, I know we charged
$375.
$375 a person. Was that enough? Do we need to charge more next year?
I think we need to charge more.
Yeah. That's unfortunately because I looking at everything once the receipts and everything were in, we definitely just barely. We still were under, like we had to still add supplemental funding. So yeah, we definitely will need to increase the cost.
Okay, so we know we need to go up in price. All right, well, any other issues or discussion for this year's recap?
I just think that it was nice to be able to have a little more low key trip. I think that you know if they had more time, then I think they would have enjoyed that even more because they would have had more opportunity to hit the beach, more opportunity to hit the boardwalk. They didn't get as much time for that because we weren't there as much.
True.
Because a lot of it was travel, just getting there. We got traffic was terrible. So if we can just add that additional day and then again build in like flexibility in the schedule so it's not jam packed. I think we always feel we have to keep them busy.
Right.
But I think we can actually add more flexibility in the schedule and allow them to be able to spend time with each other and so forth. So yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. So let's look at some ideas for 2020. That's a big year. I think we should really maybe look at some bigger plans for 2020. I know in the past we've driven to a lot of our trips, but maybe it's time for us to go big. Who's got some ideas for next year?
I'm thinking let's hit the mountains. Let's go up to West Virginia.
Okay.
Do like an outdoorsy kind of cabining feel kind of event trip where we actually go and we do. I researched a few different places. Looked at our VRBO has some cabins that we can use. Got some excellent price points. We can kind of discuss that further. And so that's a great opportunity for us to be able to then do like some whitewater rafting, some spelunking, like some other things that are, I think, a little bit more outdoors. So we have never done an outdoorsy kind of trip before, so I think that'd be something totally different. And then it's new, it's unique. It's not something we've ever done at all with any of these. So that no one's ever talked about it before. So it'll be something different and fresh to bring to the table for the youth. And I think I've already had one person that expressed interest in doing something different like that already. So
Yeah, that's a definite takeaway. We've done the beach so many times. That's definitely a good idea to possibly look at the mountains.
I am thinking not so much the mountains, but California. And the reason why I was thinking California is because you could get a little of the beach, but then there's also the Grand Canyon, so
Okay.
you're getting your outdoorsy feel. But I felt like there were some touristy things that we could do when we were there. So go see the Hollywood Walk of Fame
Right.
and do some things that the kids would just normally not be able to do.
I would love to see the Hollywood sign.
Exactly. And so I talked to a couple of contacts and I looked up some prices for like student trips to Grand Canyon, and they actually had some really good deals. Now we would have to think about airfare and those types of things because nobody wants to drive to California.
Fair.
Obviously, that's 3 days of driving. But I think it's something that we can do.
Now, wait a minute, before we get close out on that, what were your prices? What was the price looking like for?
So VRBO had different prices. It ranged from based upon. So I looked at different things. So there was a cabin that had multiple units in it. So you could house as many as probably about 15 or 20 people in the unit. And our price point per night ended up being somewhere around $300 to $400, depending on what we did per night, which is lower than what we're paying because we're renting one whole unit, and we would get that price point. So that ends up being a pretty decent price point for that many people.
So, just kind of, what would you expect the price to be per person?
Well, I have to do the math on that to break it down and
Just kind of a generalization, an estimate.
I obviously need to do the math because I had to think about how much. I think it was depending on because the prices changed per day. So on the weekends it went up to $400. On the nights it was like $300 some dollars. So it varied, and so for the whole group, I don't know the math off the top of my head, but I'd have to break it down to see how much it would cost for if we had the max that could sleep in the unit, which was like 20. So I have to check.
Okay, so let's backtrack for one hot second. So it sounds like we're talking about a big trip for 2020. What do you all feel comfortable with as sort of the max price per person? I'm hearing spelunking in West Virginia, LA. I haven't given you my idea yet, but are we looking around 1,000 a person, 1,200, 800, somewhere in
My
that
numbers
range?
were coming in more at 800.
Yeah, $750 to $800 as well.
Yeah.
So we're agreed that we're going to kind of max the budget out between $750 and $800.
Yes. Yeah, no more than
Okay.
800.
So Tara, so LA, you can do that for about $750.
Yes, because we were going to get student group rates, and when you give student group rates, the price was going down.
Okay.
Now, it does depend on how far in advance we book. So if we book in advance, we can get that price range. If we wait and try to book too close to the trip, that price goes up and it just won't work.
Fair enough. And the time we would need to spend at least a week.
Yes, because it's travel time and all that. So yeah, I would say the 5 days is what we were. We could do it in 5 days, but maybe for the California trip, maybe 7.
Okay, so alrighty. So I was thinking and I know I'm late to the party, but I just saw Endgame. Just saw Avengers Endgame. I know Disney is doing some huge things, so I'm going to pitch Orlando. I haven't been to Disney since I was in 8th grade, which was like 10,000 years ago. So I know Disney is doing a lot of great stuff. I did some research online, looked up some flights on Delta, looked at hotels. Disney does not offer discounts unless you have 1,000+ people. But I think we could do Disney with flight and theme parks for about $750 a person, maybe $775. It depends on how early we jump on it and seize these deals. Any thoughts on Disney?
I think it's great idea.
Actually, I didn't
I-
even thought of Disney.
But that
every kid would love Disney.
they would love Disney.
I
And
love
you're a
Disney.
huge Harry Potter fan, so we can go to
Sure
like
am.
Universal
so I'll
too,
leave
right?
you guys and I'll be in Harry
Mhm.
Potter every day.
Regardless of
Universal.
whether what we decide to do, you're going to be at Disney. Is
I'm
that
gonna
right?
be at Universal, yes. I think it's great. I think they will love it. There's so
I
many
like
things for
that.
them to do.
And if we can hit that price point and go to Disney,
Yes.
that's,
Including flight with hotel.
that's a win-win. The weather's nice.
What else is there to do in Orlando? 'Cause it's been so long since I've been there. I mean, I've been to Miami.
Disney has
Disney.
4 theme parks
Four theme
and
park.
Universal.
I know there's a lot of water parks
So-
down there too,
Yeah,
right?
and, Universal, like, there's a bunch of water parks as well,
Right,
but
yeah,
Universal
so that's-
has like 3 parks of its own too.
That's-
The safari.
That's
a
the
lot.
whole trip, actually.
So
the
you
whole
could
trip,
you could literally
basically.
make, you know, even
Each day.
if we did 5 days and we just took 3 days and had 3 days be parks, you still can then do a water park one day, or just have one day that's go around and do like downtown Disney or these other
And they
things
have
that aren't gonna cost
campground.
anything. Yeah.
You
And
can
there's-
also
You can camp.
camp. You don't actually
Yeah.
have to stay in
And
a
there's
hotel.
safari.
And that would
There's
take that
too.
price down even further. So I like it. There seems like a lot of things that we could probably work with in terms of Orlando.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
2-hour flights better.
2-hour flight, yeah, as opposed to 5 hours going
Yeah.
across to LA.
Right.
I mean, and I'm feeling. I just think that it's something totally different. So I feel the
Yeah,
concept.
We've never done it.
Never. It's very true.
I'm still kind of.
I know you want to go
something
Spelunky.
totally different. I think it's be something, it's something totally different to do whitewater rafting, and so. But I like. I mean, I'm.
What's cool is that you can do that at Disney.
You can whitewater raft at Disney?
I'm sure you can. You can do everything at Disney.
There's a safari.
If
at
we go to
Disney.
Disney, I want my turkey leg. That's all I want.
There's a safari at Disney you can do. Okay, so okay.
Okay, so let's recap. Cecilia, what are the ideas that we've got on the table?
So we have Cecil's idea of going to West Virginia,
Okay.
outdoor trip, making it outdoorsy and doing some more
Mhm.
physical activities. So he said probably about $300 to $400 per night for that one. California, our idea was they could do the beach, they do the Grand Canyon, do a little tourist thing, Air Force. She said probably she can make it no more than $800, but it has to be longer, probably because we're going across the country, so 7 days. And then your idea, Disney with flight, $750, $775. We probably can still make that a five-day trip, 6-day trip. So those are what we have.
Okay, now I know there's only 4 of us. Does anyone else want to add anything to
I
their?
think we got a wrap-up situation because we all like your idea.
Yeah, we like it.
Well, let's vote on it. Let's go in order. So let's vote on Cecil's idea of spelunking in West Virginia. All in favor? Okay, that's 1. All opposed? Okay,
Oh,
that's
opposed, no.
Close.
Okay,
No.
so that's
Okay.
how about LA? Walk of
I
Fame.
mean, I don't even vote for my own idea now.
Wow. So
Okay.
we're all let's
Okay.
vote on Disney. How about
Mhm.
all in favor for Disney?
Well, yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Disney.
You still on the fence about Disney?
So
What if we could pull in a day where we could go? I don't know if there's spelunking, but we could go. I'm sure we can go.
You know what? The truth of the matter is that West Virginia will almost
Yeah.
cost the same price point because of how
I
expensive
say
those
let it
things
go.
are.
Let's go
So
with
let's
Orlando.
Orlando. Yeah,
Yeah.
all right, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially as the whole group is feeling it.
Yeah.
You can't lose with Disney.
It's very true.
Yeah, so I'm in.
What is it called? The most magical place on earth?
Sure enough is.
Yeah,
It is the
it
most
is magical.
magical place.
It's magical.
Well, let's vote. Sounds like we're all approved for Disney. So hey, Disney 2020.
Disney 2020.
Disney
All right. Yeah.
2020.
Fantastic. Thanks you guys for coming. I appreciate it. Meeting adjourned. Have a good afternoon, everybody.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you.
Thank you.